Hey guys, Jackdaw here. Today I'm continuing the conversation regarding the next protagonist for Dragon Age 4. Considering the fact that the next Dragon Age game ain't coming out anytime soon, we currently have plenty of time to speculate and delve into many potential ideas, concepts and theories for the next playable character. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Over the course of many protagonist-centered videos, I'll be delving into plenty of new and exciting concepts for our next main character, speculating on what role they may partake on this epic journey that Inquisition and Trespassers narrative have since set up. Now, I've already touched upon my first initial concept in a previous video, the dual protagonist, and both the reception and response for that video has been grand. As a TLDR for that video, I would simply like to play as both my Inquisitor and a new hero in Dragon Age 4. The Inquisitor needs to finish the story that they originally started, while a new protagonist is required to track down Solas unnoticed. So if you would like to see how I envision the Inquisitor and the next protagonist working together in the next game, you can check that video out, link down below. But with that covered, for this episode I'm delving into the most realistic and potential character concept for Dragon Age 4's main character, and that is the role of a spy. Playing as a spy is most likely going to be the next playable character because according to Kotaku's report on the previous iteration of Dragon Age 4, known as Project Joplin, we were initially playing as a group of spies in Tevinter, with a large chunk of the game centering on heists. That's right, we were originally going to embark on heist missions throughout the Tevinter Imperium, with systematic gameplay built around many choices like persuading or extortioning guards. There was an emphasis on repeat play, creating the world to be as reactive as possible to major aspects of the game, like the passing of time and mission progress, giving the player the incentive to revisit old areas, experiencing new and interesting things based on our previous decisions. Now, we don't know how much of Project Joplin has been scrapped, and we have been told that plenty of this previous work will pass on into Dragon Age 4's new iteration, Project Morrison. So, we could still be playing as a spy in Dragon Age 4 based on that very initial concept and prototype of Project Joplin. And with that, I need to preface that this video has been made with the assumption that our protagonist is a spy based on Joplin's initial work. The next Dragon Age project may be very different to Joplin's concept right here. However, this video was made to speculate at anything the future of Dragon Age may convey based on that previous work. Because, let's face it, that's all that we've really got so far in terms of what Dragon Age 4 will actually be like gameplay wise. Even still, we're at least talking about content that was originally going to be in Dragon Age 4, and it still could be. So there's hope right there. Anyhow, let's delve into the dynamics of what it would mean to play as a spy protagonist in Dragon Age 4 and how heist missions would take the narrative into an interesting direction. The first question that arises for Dragon Age 4's next protagonist is why a spy in particular? The pinnacle reason that Dragon Age 4 is set in the Tevinter Imperium is based on the Inquisitor's final mission, to get help from someone Solas doesn't know.
Then we find people he doesn't know.
We already knew that we would somehow be connected to the Inquisition or the Inquisitor because operating in secret is required in order to avoid getting infiltrated by Solas's spies again. The natural direction to go from the remnants of the Inquisition army is into a small covert group of spies. Someone who can get the job done unnoticed without any hassle that Solas wouldn't know about. Basically, our next spy protagonist is going to be a nobody, and that is going to be essential to the plot. So if we're going to play as a spy, what would our purpose as a spy be then? Essentially, we'll be tracking down influence, power and information about Solas in Tevinter. As a spy with no knowledge, understanding or experience with Solas, will be the very best person in Thedas for this task. The title spy implies a handler, someone who is in charge and has given us the task of infiltrating and instigating an enemy for their bidding or personal gain. The question is, who's in charge of us then? Could our spy protagonist relate directly to the Inquisitor, or are they among a new covert operation in Heist with a new leader? Dragon Age has absorbed itself in the world of spies lately, with the amount of shady organisations in Heist. It'd be a likely avenue that our new group of spies would come from the ashes of the Inquisition. However, it also may not. We could simply be a contracted agent in an unknown Tevinter group with the mission of tracking down information on an elven god, or stealing magical artifacts by organising strategic heists. And that's all that we'll ever know until the main narrative kicks in and we either have a new purpose or a new role. What I personally love about Dragon Age is that in each game you earn your title by completing a series of events that define your character. You're not just given your main title at the start of the game, you have to gain it through proving yourself, and only then you can become the Inquisitor, the champion, or the hero of Ferelden. So perhaps in Dragon Age 4 we'll start as a small spy, do a few heists, until then the narrative opens up and through trials and triumph we become the defining hero of the game, whatever that may be. So what do heists in Dragon Age actually look like then? A key element of this game involves setting up heists in the Tevinter Imperium, which in my opinion sounds pretty darn epic, but I've seen some hesitation online as to what heists specifically mean for Dragon Age. I do feel like heists are kind of a negative buzzword for Dragon Age because you instantly think about robbing a bank or mugging old ladies like in a Rockstar game. In actuality though, I do see heists in a good regard for Dragon Age. They would be set piece quests, very much like Wicked Hearts and Wicked Eyes in Dragon Age Inquisition, following strategic quest design and key choices that set up a completely unique experience based on player actions. A heist doesn't necessarily have to be a standard bank robbery. If you look at Mass Effect 2 Suicide Mission, to some extent I would call that a heist. As a team, you're each embarking on a mission that will most likely end in your demise with a slim chance of success. However, as you make choices and the squad works together, you pull off one of the galaxy's most renowned missions to end the Collectors. So think to that scale of what a heist could be in Dragon Age 4. In a similar fashion, Mass Effect Andromeda had vaults that were essential to the narrative, these dungeon-like set-piece levels that involved a high risk but worthy reward. Again, another example of a BioWare heist. Now even though it'd be pretty fun to rob old Orlesian ladies, there's a greater aspect to heist missions as BioWare have showcased in the past. And that's just a few examples. Think of the Lair of the Shadowbroker DLC, which Patrick Reeks wrote. And judging the initial brief Joplin followed, it seems BioWare were originally going for that epic choice-driven set-piece moments. So ideally for Dragon Age 4, we'll be following a plot that centers on pulling off high-risk and heavy choice-based missions, not just robbing a bank or committing casual thievery, but operating heists with a greater incentive in mind to stop Solas from tearing down the Veil. So with that, what is the purpose of heists in Dragon Age 4? The Tevinter Imperium exists largely on parts of the old Elven Empire, and has many of its magical artifacts and relics. Potentially, we're searching and raiding said artifacts, and that'll take the narrative center stage. As we know from Solas, each of the Elven gods have their own foci. Like Solas had the Orb of Destruction. Perhaps our new protagonist is on a race against Solas to reach these artifacts first. The Orb of Destruction was supposed to destroy the Veil once unlocked. However, since it was destroyed after the defeat of Corypheus, Solas will need another way to destroy the Veil. Could he now need another MacGuffin item like the Red Lyrium Idol or an Elven God's foci? Is this the purpose of completing heists, to get to that weapon before Solas does? Now it seems pretty likely, again especially with the fact that Tevinter was founded on the ruins of the Elven Kingdom. It'd be a hotspot for anything pre-Veil, so it's the perfect place for both Solas and our spy protagonist to chase after ancient relics. Like I said before, it seems that Dragon Age 4's plot could be a race against time, or more apropos, a race against Solas. As we know, the narrative going forward is all about the Dread Wolf Rising, and it's super exciting to see this original concept on how we'd stop Solas by taking on heists throughout Tevinter. I do not think that this will be canned. It sounds way too vital to the main narrative, so I'm hoping that we can still have this heist dynamic as a huge element in Dragon Age 4. It certainly makes plenty of sense to be attempting to stop Solas in any way possible. An orb or the Red Lyrium Idol are just a few random examples I've thrown in there, but there are potentially other relics or artifacts that could be used to destroy the Veil. Attempting to wrap up though, the Dragon Age games have always thrown us into the shoes of a new protagonist with a very specific role or characteristic that sets them apart from each of the other heroes. Every character has a somewhat distinctive quality about them. One of my worries with fulfilling the role as a spy is just that. What exactly would strictly be unique to that character? That's when I start to think about abilities, powers, and other attributes attributes that have more influence in the world. For instance, our Herald was the Inquisitor, but also had the Mark, which gave them special abilities. Not only did the Inquisitor have political gain, but also a magic rift closing hand. Perhaps we'll have something new for our spy protagonist. I personally think being a dreamer would be pretty cool and could play a vital part to the narrative. But that's a topic for another video. Even if elements of Joplin are sacked for Dragon Age 4, there's still a huge emphasis on spies and a future narrative involving them. The Dragon Age comics are giving me a sense that the narrative is still building up to a plot for a spy protagonist. Currently, the comic book characters are looking for red lyrium that has been imbued into a weapon. They're heading on their own heist to Castilium Tenebris, fortress of House Daenerys in Tevinter, for a further investigation. So we're just gonna have to keep our eyes open on what the comics are foreshadowing for the future of Dragon Age's narrative, because that's the only thing we really have that is currently pushing the plot. But guys, let me know what you think about a spy protagonist in Dragon Age 4 and embarking on these daring, epic heists that would be based on player choice and consequences. Is this a feature that you would still like to see for the future of Dragon Age, or do you definitely not want this plot of beating Solas to the punch? Would you rather have a completely different protagonist? Let me know down below, as I am creating this to be a series of many videos unraveling what and who our next protagonist could be. In my opinion, this does seem like the most likely avenue, and I actually would really like it now that I've delved into what a heist could mean and just the player choice and quest mechanics. Look at what BioWare have done in the past: Suicide Mission, Wicked Hearts, Wicked Eyes, amazing, well-designed quests, and all strictly driven by player choice. Imagine that for Dragon Age 4 with multiple heists. I would very much enjoy that. But guys, let me know what you're thinking down below on the next protagonist of Dragon Age 4. But for your things Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and BioWare, you're already in the right place for all that sweet content. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, check out my blog, and even my Patreon. But until the next one, I've been Jackdaw, and I should go. Wow.